I'm going to get into all of that as the show progresses, but I'm going to transition to something that transpired last night at the Grammys in Los Angeles, California. Now, for those of you who are not ultra familiar with this show, I mean, everybody knows me. I am Stephen A. after all. I primarily do sports, but I'm not limited to that. I talk about pop culture and entertainment. I talk about politics. I talk about social issues, social justice issues. Here's my MO and here's my brand. I don't run from a damn thing. Whatever is percolating, whatever's in the news, whatever needs to be talked about, whatever needs to be addressed, I don't run. And I'm going to tell you why I don't run. Because my foundation is a journalist. You can't be quick to put people in a hot seat, to jump in somebody's ass. But when it's time for you to be in a hot seat, you ducking and running and hiding. You can't do that. You got to make sure that you stand up and you address issues that need to be addressed. And I do it primarily for the express purpose of being able to touch on issues that I'm passionate about. And I'm passionate about this Killer Mike issue. Killer Mike, who last night became a 3-time Grammy Award winner. He is a rap artist based out of Atlanta, Georgia. He is 48 years of age. He is an activist who cares about our community, cares about black folks, cares about American citizens, speaks truth to power as best as he possibly can. Some people might fault him for it. Some people might applaud him for it. But the bottom line is there is no question that his heart is in the right place, and this is a brother that is known as being a conscientious observer, if not more than that. I've seen him be interviewed on many, many occasions. I've seen him on Real Time with Bill Maher. I've seen him on other networks and outlets being interviewed and what have you. But last night, at the Crypto.com Arena in Los Angeles, California, site of the Grammys, where this man in the pre-aired show, I'm not talking about the nationally televised portion, I'm talking about the portion of the Grammy Awards that wasn't nationally televised. This brother right here, y'all, picked up 3 Grammys. 3 Grammys. Best rap song, best rap performance, best rap album. For Michael, his name in real life, Michael Render is his name. They arrested him. They put him in handcuffs and took him out of Crypto.com Arena. And according to the reports that I'm reading from right now, he was arrested in the middle of the live telecast and escorted out of the Crypto.com Arena in handcuffs by the LAPD and booked for misdemeanor battery for assault on a security guard. Where am I going, ladies and gentlemen? Where am I going? The word is alleged. Now, alleged to have hit a security guard. Nobody's condoning that. Nobody's condoning violence. Nobody's saying if he did do that, that he shouldn't be made to pay a punishment for it. I don't know what happened. We know the key word there is alleged. Will Smith wasn't alleged. With over 100 million people watching, Will Smith, one of the greatest actors, one of the biggest movie stars, walked from his seat up to a stage, slapped the living shit out of Chris Rock, went back to his seat, and said, "Keep my wife's name out your effing mouth," while the cameras were rolling, not once, but twice. That was in L.A. That was in L.A., y'all. It ain't like the Oscars took place in New York and the Grammys took place in L.A. or vice versa. The Grammys were in L.A. The Oscars were in L.A. The same LAPD officers that came and took Killer Mike out in cuffs, knowing the cameras were rolling, putting him through a perp walk, is the same LAPD that let Will Smith slap the living hell out of Chris Rock, go back to his seat, cuss him out on national television with additional threats, then go up on stage minutes later, accept the Oscar that he had won the first in his career, and then after that, let him go to an after party. That's what happened. What's up with that, y'all? How come I'm not hearing anybody talk about that? We talking about Killer Mike being arrested. Why are we not talking about the discrepancy? Where's it at? Inquiring minds want to know. Because you see, you don't have white America to call out on this. Oh, he's a white guy. That's why he got away with it. But the black guy got arrested. No, the black guy got arrested and the other black guy didn't. Now what we gonna say? Now what we gonna say? It was in L.A. The LAPD, the same LAPD that was at the Oscars, is the same LAPD that was at the Grammys. What you trying to say? Now, I'm not sitting up here advocating like I wanted Will Smith to be arrested. I applaud Chris Rock for not wanting him arrested. But what I am saying, however, is I need an explanation for that. Is it star power? Well, Killer Mike ain't on the level of Will Smith, and that's why Will Smith got preferential treatment compared to Killer Mike? Is the Grammys, because we're talking about musicians and hip-hop artists, whether it's hip-hop artists, rock and roll stars, or whatever, that their audience is different from the Grammys, or the participants at the Oscars is different than the participants at the Grammys? What's up? Where's the explanation? See, this is why somebody like me is in the position that I'm in. Because when stuff don't smell right, I say it don't smell right. If it walks like a duck and quacks like a duck, I don't call it a damn mongoose. Sunday right. Black activism. Is that the problem? You know, throughout history, whether it's, and certainly not comparing Killer Mike to this, and personally speaking, I wish his name wasn't Killer Mike. I wish it was something else, Mike. I don't like the word killer preceding your name. That's just my personal opinion, but do you? But throughout history, many people have argued. Those who get excoriated, those who get terrorized, those who get harassed, whatever the case may be, is usually money involved. Whether it's a Malcolm X, it's a Dr. Martin Luther King, or various other folks. Again, not comparing Killer Mike to those folks. But when you start talking about economic empowerment, is it a problem? Ladies and gentlemen, take a look at this perp walk they put this man through. Look for yourself. It's right there. How do you do that when you know you had let Will Smith off the hook? I got white comedians and white actors who have been on the record, Jim Carrey included, saying Will Smith should have been arrested. And again, I'm not wishing that for Will. I love Will Smith. I love his work. I don't know him like that, but I love his work. Strong admirer of his. I've never looked at him as the same since that incident. And it's personal in a sense. Now, some would think it's personal because I know Chris Rock and that's my boy and I love him. And we are friends. That ain't the reason. I don't think Will Smith would have slapped Ricky Gervais. I don't think Will Smith would have went on stage and slapped Bill Maher. I don't think Will Smith would have went on stage and slapped Jamie Foxx. I don't think Will Smith would have went on stage and slapped the Snoop Dogg. He damn sure wouldn't have slapped the Mike Tyson, Michael J. White, The Rock, Dwayne Johnson. He wouldn't have even slapped Kevin Hart. Now, some say there's history between him and Chris Rock and all this stuff, and I'm not here to relive that. What I'm saying is, why aren't you? And it's not about the incident. It's not about what caused the incident, but it is about the incident from the standpoint of he slapped a man on national television. Correct me if I'm wrong, producers, everybody out there. Isn't that assault? I'm looking at people outside this window right here over these beautiful studios. When you slap the living shit out of somebody, is that not assault? I think that's assault. Last time I checked. So this man slapped somebody on national television. I'm sorry, global television. The world was watching the Oscars. The world. He slapped that man. And the LAPD did nothing. And you talk about a reversal of fortune. I mean, I understand we watched OJ with the white Bronco. And we know that if that was the typical ordinary black dude, his ass would have been run off the road in that white Bronco. And he wouldn't have got to his house. And Al Cowlings wouldn't have been able to hold off the LAPD with this 10-mile, 15-mile, whatever, however long the ride was to Brentwood. We know better than that. But the bottom line is, there was preferential treatment. I'm telling you, to a far more innocuous or far less harmful degree. Why are we talking about that today? Killer Mike has been in the game for 2 decades. Never won a Grammy before. And on the night that happened, best rap song, best rap performance, best rap album. Not only was it his first, he got 3 in one night. Clean sweep in all categories. I mean, think about that for a second here. During Black History Month, no less. And this man who publicizes what he feels, who puts his conscientious observations on Front Street, who has fought on behalf of the desolate and the disenfranchised for years. You arrested this man. You put him in handcuffs. You could listen to what I'm saying, LAPD. If the man slapped if he put his hands on a security guard or whatever, I get it. That's not what we're talking about here. We're talking about the discrepancy. You couldn't have waited till after the Grammys? You couldn't have done that? You did nothing to Will Smith, even though the director was black, Will Packer, first black director in the history of the Oscars. You had blacks winning Oscars that night. Even though that was the case, you did nothing to Will Smith. Nothing. But you arrest this man and you take him out in cuffs. I need an explanation for that. I truly do.